A nova is a transient event seen as a sudden brightening followed by a slow fading over several Earth weeks, which is released from a close binary system containing a white dwarf primary, accreting mostly hydrogen gas from a main sequence star, subgiant, or giant secondary that has an orbital period between 1 and several Earth days. Let's break down this nova event. Here we're looking at an artist sketch of a close binary system. We have our secondary star as the big one on the left, and then we have this white dwarf primary, which is in the center of the accretion disk in the center. Now this secondary star is so close to the white dwarf primary and the gravitational pull so large by the white dwarf that gaseous material fills the Roche lobe of the secondary, which we'll label M2, and it passes through the inner Lagrange point between the two celestial objects. And because the system is in orbit, the gaseous material slowly spirals in, forming an accretion disk until it lands on the white dwarf. Now that gaseous material builds up on the white dwarf until a critical point is released when that gaseous material is expelled off of the white dwarf. Now this gaseous material that's being expelled off in a thermonuclear explosion is what's known as a nova event. So what do we see? We see a sudden brightening of this entire system, which we think is coming from the white dwarf atmosphere blowing off. And then it's followed by a slow fading over several Earth weeks. So if we had to plot the light curve, where time is on the horizontal axis, increasing to the right, and brightness or luminosity is on the vertical axis, increasing upward, you have this sudden brightening followed by this slow decay over several weeks. We think that the primary star is the white dwarf, and the secondary star could be anything from a main sequence star, subgiant, or giant, and the material is spiraling down onto the white dwarf, and once enough material has settled on the white dwarf as an atmosphere, that material blows off. Not all of it, but some of it blows off as this nova event. Now the plural of nova is novae, and what that means is that you have a nova event going off in some direction, and then you have another nova event going off in somewhere else. So two separate systems are having a nova event. So these two are then referred to as novae.